nigga Zeke. Somebody got said. Shit. You niggas run the IG for inspiration, cause your immediate circle ain't good for shit but hate.
Even the Draymond Green basketball player, but the character of Draymond Green is, I think, is the brilliant part of your game also, like the playing into the character, right? That I'm this aggressive maniac on the court, like you almost embrace it and embody it like a boxer.
Absolutely.
Almost like Floyd Mayweather, you know, when he became Pretty Boy, he took on a persona like it's the one you love to hate, and you use that in your game, you know. And so I believe that's a part of it. And so I don't want to love Draymond Green on this day until he's going against LeBron. You know what I mean? Like rattle him because he's been winning so much in life,
exactly.
Not just on the basketball court, in life.
Absolutely.
And the narratives be so opposite of the reality of things. You know what I'm saying?
And who the people really are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially when you spend the amount of time that I spend with him, and you see how many people he look out for. You really,
But Blend,
you see just so much.
I can't even let you go that deep because you don't have to, because you looking for hate. We're talking about black men, right? And how we perceived in this country and the obstacles we have to go through and who they are, right? We're talking about a college student. We're talking about a guy that attended Michigan State. Like, what are we really talking about? It's not a guy carjacking. So I get what you're saying, but it's like, it's easy to throw that stuff on us. You know what I mean? And so I think they just go into it. Like, you don't have to spend that much time to know this man ain't no damn criminal. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's in the NBA, he's a professional athlete. And like I said, he's a person that we saw him go through high school and college in public.
Right.
What could he have possibly ever done? You know what I mean? And so there's no big off-court scandals, no big nothing. So, and I think that's where we live, which brings me into the new media, right? And where I think you was going. And I think I was probably here when new media was created. Was it 2022 during the championship run? And we was having a conversation.
Absolutely.
And you said it, and I was like, damn, that's raw. I think we talked about it all day the next day. We was like, new media. And so the pod was going on, and you kept beating it into everybody's brain. No, this is the new media because we not it's like taking a stance. We're not going for those narratives that y'all trying to create, nor will we create those narratives. So speak on that, because you won a fucking championship on a pod while doing a pod.
Absolutely.
You know, and like seeing PG recently say, I'm gonna take a step back from my pod to focus on basketball and winning, and seeing you go through a championship doing that. Speak on that, because that was like, that's fucking unheard of.
So the new media, in 2022, obviously I started doing the pod 2021-22 season. So I started, I think, in November of 2021. And one of the reasons I started is I just hated where media was at. You know, I felt like when I was growing up watching media about sports, like, you can get actual facts about sports. And then I felt like, then it just turned into like, yo, he was out last night, and like current events about people's life. And you could no longer learn about sports. And so I wanted to use media to start teaching sports again. But in teaching sports, you got to tell the truth. And I don't think the old media tell the truth. And so I started this moniker, the new media, because I'm like, yo, I'm not like them. But I do want to be some form of media, but I ain't like them. It's the new media. And I started saying it, and I'm like, man, we talking about it, like, I rock with that. Like, it is the new media, and we different. And originally, it like wasn't really a thing. And it was just something I was just saying. And then I started getting people like, yo, I'm a part of the new media too. And I'm like, yo, this is really a thing, like the new media. But I get it. It really should be a thing, though, because we different. We're going to go about this differently. than this old media been going because they've been ruining our game. And they still ruining it. But I think we're closer to the other side than we were.
Right.
I think the needle has moved. There's starting to be more accountability for what you say. There's now people starting to realize your word ain't bond.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think we've moved the needle, you know what I'm saying, closer to the other side. But it ain't all the way there. But we've started to see those that don't do the job the right way falling off like flies. You know what I'm saying? Like that old mentality, we're starting to see it dissipate a bit. And so the thought behind it was just like, man, you got to be truth tellers. Like, we tell the truth. We don't sugarcoat anything. We tell the truth. We're not trying to build some crazy narrative on somebody. We're going to analyze this game and break it down like y'all can't. That's the new media.
Yeah.
And it can be fun. You don't have to always kill somebody. You can talk your shit. I'm going to always talk my shit. Always. Forever. But just because you talk your shit don't mean you're trying to tear someone down.
Right.
And by the way, I talked about Karl Anthony Towns on my last podcast. How well he played against us. And how I think that's who he need to be. That same aggression he played with me, if he played like that against everybody, Karl Anthony Towns will be an even different player than y'all think he is right now. Giving him his props on the game he played and all that. You know what they do, the old media? They crush you when you down, and they don't say a word about you the next day when you play well. You doing well. Then they just move on to the next thing. No. The new media, we're going to talk our shit. We're going to say what we believe. We're going to speak our piece. And when someone's doing well, we also going to say that. We ain't going to hide from that.
Right.
We ain't going to just breeze over that like, I talked about this. I'm going to do well. We're going to breathe. No, we ain't like that. We're going to give flowers. They hate to give flowers. You got to take flowers. Like, they hate to give you flowers. Right. We're going to give flowers because it's cool. We're confident enough in ourselves to where we don't need to not give flowers to feel good about ourselves. And so it just kind of became a thing. And if I'm honest, I think it's impacted the way people talk about things. Because I think you've started to see more players start their own stuff.
Absolutely.
Telling their own story. Right. The beating I went through during a podcast in NBA season, yeah, people trying to tell me to stop. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm giving away secrets. I'm telling the game plan. If y'all are that dumb to think I'm going to come on a podcast and tell y'all our game plan, ain't that stupid? All of the things, and then we won a championship. And then you heard nothing else about athletes doing a podcast during the season. Then all of a sudden you had Jalen Ramsey doing it from SoFi the next year after games. Michael Park, and it's just like wildfire. But the beating that I took because I was doing that during the season, it's crazy.
It was crazy.
And then we won a championship. And everybody celebrated the championship. And while everybody celebrated in TD Garden, you know what I did for the next 3 hours? A podcast. And then I went to celebrate.
Right.
But I dedicated myself to this. And when I dedicate myself to something, I only know to give it everything.
Yeah. I think that's amazing, man. That's an amazing story. And just the way you did it was so flawless, you know what I mean? And it worked. I mean, I don't know if everybody can do it. I don't think everybody can pull it off, but you have that capacity to be able to do that. The bandwidth is there for you to pull that off. But doing the pod and where you are now with the Draymond Green show with Baron Davis and the evolution of the Draymond Green show, because me and Blends talked about it at first, it was a lot of X's and O's. And I think that's who you are. I think you enjoy the game playing it and watching it and analyzing it, right? So it was a lot of X's and O's. The pod has evolved. It's evolved to brings a lot of banter, a lot of really comedic. Baron is a great character for pod. And how did you decide on him, and how do you feel about where it is now? Because I think the show is super fire. And in fact, I saw something, I don't know what publication that was, but they ranked you guys like as one of the best. It was out of the sports podcast. You guys were one of the top ones. So how do you feel about it, man?
I love it, man. I think it's great. We did a few episodes. He came on the show, then we did another one, and then we did one during the Olympics. And I felt like all of them were dope. I felt like our chemistry was fire. I felt like we played off each other well. And obviously we had some commonalities, which I thought were incredible. And every time we do something, people will be like, yo, why is BD not on permanently? Like, this is fire. Like, you should keep BD on. And you look at all the comments, and everybody's like, yo, keep BD. Where BD at? Bring BD back. And it was fire. And so I was like, we're going to try it. Like, let's reach out to BD. So the volume reached out to him. He was on board. And we got it going. And it's been incredible, man. I love it because sometimes BD can say some things I can't say.
True.
Which is cool. I got no complaints about that. You know, I play a team sport and it ain't all about me. So there's just some things that you can, and it is what it is. No problem. I also play in the NBA. Like, you represent something larger than yourself. You can't, it just, certain things you just can't do. And I understand that, and I'm cool with that. Having someone, the stories BD got is crazy. He got stories for days.
Crazy.
It's crazy. So I really enjoy that. And then also, like, BD's smart as hell about a bunch of things, bro. Sometimes he gets to talking on that podcast, and I really have to, like, lock in because it feel like he, like BD will talk circles around you if you're not careful. Smart as hell. He will, like, literally talk a circle. And so sometimes he'll start saying something, and I have to, like, all right, let me focus on every word he's saying. Because, like, he about to start talking some circles around me if I ain't careful.
Yeah.
I love that challenge. You know what I'm saying? I love someone that can spark, like, that can lock your brain in like that. Like, to have a dialogue with someone that can lock your brain in like that, I appreciate. You know what I'm saying? And so it's been incredible, man. I've enjoyed it. It's fun. I'm looking forward to the playoffs because in the playoffs we'll get to talk more X's and O's. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to break down more games, and I that's what I love about it more than anything.
Yeah. I could tell you passionate about that. I know we're gonna wrap up soon, but I have to ask you this for the Bars podcast and for the fans, because they're going to kill us if we don't. On two controversial incidents, one with Jordan Poole, one with Kevin Durant, excuse me, KD. I know you spoke about this so many times, but how do those incidents affect you and affect your relationship with the team? And were they in the same vein, or were they just completely different incidents? Like,
two completely different incidents. Because the one with KD, like, that was two dudes having words. Like, I don't think the team viewed that how everyone else viewed it. But then I think how everyone else viewed it affected the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it. But again, we were still so good, it was fine. Like, it was okay. Like, it was fine. We moved, like, it was okay. The Jordan Poole incident also would have been fine if the video never got out. If the video never got out, we were moving on.
We never saw Jordan and Steve Kerr incident.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but it happened.
It happened.
Yeah.
Right? Like, once the video gets out, then everybody got an opinion. Then you feel like, dang, people seen this video. If I'm cool with him, or I have a relationship with him, or if I'm his teammate and people see me dapping him up, they gonna think I'm weak. And so it's all these, and like that's the culture we come from. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would probably feel the same way. Although
Blends want to fade everybody.
Although if I'm honest, like I don't really hold myself prisoner to public opinion. Like I really don't give a damn what you think, honestly. So like, if I was going to get over it before the video was coming out, before the video came out, and I was going to I'd get over it after the video come out. Because guess what? If you came to me and said like, after the video got out, like, you got punched in your face, I'll punch you in yours. Because you're just not going to come talk to me like that.
Right.
Like, words actually do mean something. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to come to my face and talk to me like that because you're trying me. So I'm not. That's me. That's who I am. I don't allow myself to be held hostage to public opinion. I disagree with that. Like, because I don't even know you. Why would I care about your opinion? And so that's me. And I think if the video never got out, it would have been fine. Whatever, the video got out, things are what they are. Oh man, my widget came off. Sorry guys, I've already lost quite a few widgets. Yeah. So, how it affects, like how it makes things with the team. When that video came out, it got really awkward with the team. Like I said, the KD thing was what it was. That ain't. But this thing with the team, it got really awkward because they almost felt like then they had to pick a side. And you really can't pick the side of the guy that's being said is a bully to the world. Right? Because again, this video was released, it was a 6-second video clip release with no audio. It's just a video of me walking up. Starts from there.
Right.
It ain't showing you the 20 minutes leading up to this. It ain't showing you the date. It just shows you 6 minutes. 6 seconds or 13, whatever it is. And so the team also saw that video. And I saw the video. And even I, who was involved in the situation and know everything leading up to it, when I saw the video, I was like, oh my God. Like, you are tripping. And even though I was still tripping, the video still don't tell the whole story.
Right.
And even I, who was involved in it all day, like watched this video a million times and was like, yo, and I had to tell myself, like, wait, the reality, yes, you fucked up. But this video was also released this way to make you look this way. And so in turn, it had a huge effect on the team. And quite honestly, it was hard for me to accept it having a huge effect on them because the day before they had already moved on. Everybody like, yo, that shit happened. It is what it is. We'll see you back at practice tomorrow. Moving on. And then the video come out and everybody tune changed. Everybody changed their tune. And it was like, whoa. Bro, you was just talking to me yesterday like, I'll see you at practice tomorrow. Now y'all like, don't come back to practice. We don't know when you coming back to practice. Y'all just told me yesterday to be back at practice tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
This video released at 6 o'clock in the morning. And now everybody like, oh, don't come to practice. By the way, we don't know when you coming back to practice. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll give everybody their space. But then after a few days, I was like, hey, man, I'm just letting y'all know I'm coming back to practice. I'm not about to keep fucking missing practice.
Right.
I was fucking coming back to practice the next day. Like, all right, I get it, but I'm coming back to practice. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about.
Right.
And I went back to practice. But it was, and then there was conversation like, amongst the staff and front office, like, do we suspend them? Niggas don't get suspended for getting into a fight in practice.
No.
Right.
So, like, yeah, it looks bad and like you want to maybe discipline because of what happened, but it ain't my fault the video got out.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't start punishing me for that. Because, like, it wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so you can't now start punishing me because somebody released the video. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and so it was weird, man. It was weird as hell. It was tough. That team never recovered from that. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I always take my responsibility because I take it on the chin. It is what it is. But the team didn't recover from the video.
Nah.
The team did not recover from the punch.
Yeah.
The team didn't recover from the video. There was no coming back after the video.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but after the video, it was just no coming back.
But it feels like we officially passed that too, right?
Yeah.
that shit
Definitely
went.
passed that shit. That shit over with. And shout out to Jordan Poole. I heard him speak on it the other day, and he said, "Man, I play for Washington now." You know what I mean? It's not we ain't on that. You know what I mean?
He playing well too.
Yeah, he playing well.
They got some vets in there now. He got dealt a tough hand going to Washington.
Yeah.
Because he went to Washington, and I've actually been in that position. I was in that same position that he went to Washington, and I was in that position in 2020.
Right.
Where it was all young guys, and I, who was like young but had a little experience, was then expected to be this vet. Then I'm in year 7.
Right.
I don't know how to be no vet. That is a job in itself that you don't know how to do at that age. And he kind of got thrusted into that same situation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he failed. And it ain't his fault that he failed.
Right.
It's impossible. Like, it's so hard to do.
Right.
When you never been a vet and then people just expect, oh, like tomorrow you the vet. Like, that is tough to do, man. And I think now this year he's been better. He's settled into it more. And they just brought a couple vets in to help out with that. So I think he's playing a lot better, which is good to see.
Yes. Real shit only. Let me talk to these niggas, Zeke. Somebody got said. Shit. You niggas run the IG for inspiration. Cause your immediate circle ain't good for shit but hating. How you hustling just to get complacent?